Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello my dear students, and welcome to a new lesson and welcome to a new unit number 4, Great Failures. Today we will have lesson number 1 and number 2, but I want to divide these two lessons into separate lessons, I mean part 1 and part 2, and they have the title of reading to retell information. So let's do the first task. Write these words in the correct column in the chart. We have a chart and we have to write the following words: badly, best, great, well, worst, be good at, be not very good at, mistake, right, wrong, fail, failure, pass, succeed, success, successful, unsuccessful, ashamed of, and finally we have proud of. We have a lot of words. Some of these words are positive, or some of them have positive meanings and other have negative meanings. Here in this chart we want to divide these words into positive and negative words. Let's deal with them step by step or word by word. The first one, badly. Yes, it has negative meaning. Best, positive. Great, positive. Well, also it has a positive meaning. Worst, it has a negative meaning, and it's the superlative of bad. Bad, worst, and the worst. Be good at, it has a positive. Be not very good at, it has a negative. Mistake, it has a negative meaning. Right, positive. Wrong, negative. And they are opposites. Fail and failure have negative meanings. Pass, succeed, success, successful, all of these words have positive meanings. Unsuccessful is the opposite of successful. We add "un", this prefix "un" is to reverse the meaning. So unsuccessful has a negative meaning. Ashamed of has negative meanings, and finally proud of has positive meanings. Now here are the answers in front of you, my students. Positive words: pass, succeed, be good at, success, well, best, right, great, successful, proud of. And the negative words are fail, ashamed of, be not very good at, mistake, failure, wrong, worst, unsuccessful, and badly. Now after doing this exercise number B, let's do another task, another thing. See, look at the pictures on page number 43. Quickly read the title and subtitles in red. Do you think this will be a humorous text or a serious text? So here, after looking at these pictures, we have to guess. These pictures are humorous or the text is humorous or serious. So if we look at the first picture and the first title or subtitle, we have this picture, and the subtitle of it is "The Worst Driver in the World." This is the subtitle of this picture. The following picture, the longest failure to return, or it has the subtitle, "The longest failure to return a borrowed book." Yeah. The third picture, this is the third one, and it has the subtitle, which is "The Least Successful Weather Report." And we have the worst burglar, and finally the unluckiest lion, So we can guess if the text will be about, let's say, about humorous or serious text. From the picture we can say it's a humorous text. The title and subtitles are very unusual, and the pictures show humorous situations, and the style of the pictures is not serious. The style of the pictures is not serious, so we think it's a humorous text. While you read. Read only the introduction to the text on page number 43 with your partner. Discuss what you think happened to the people and the animal in the pictures. Yes, let's read the introduction. Great scientists, world leaders, famous writers, singers, and film stars all have a special talent. They are all specially good at something. Millions of pages are written about them in books, magazines, and newspapers. But what about those who are specially bad at something? Oh, this page is for them. Now, after reading the introduction, we can say these possible answers. The worst driver in the world. She couldn't pass her driving test. Maybe she got nervous every time. The longest failure to return a borrowed book. He didn't return a library book. Maybe he kept forgetting or lost it. The least successful weather report. He couldn't give a weather forecast. Maybe he couldn't get the information. The worst burglar. Maybe he fell asleep after breaking into a house. And the unluckiest lion, maybe it was scared of people. Now, let's do number B. Work in groups. Each group reads one of the stories on page number 43. Discuss these questions with the other people in your group. We have 4 questions. Number 1. What's the title of the story? Who or what is the story about? What are the main details and what happened in the end? Here we want to read all the text as a whole. After that we can explain or we can answer to the previous questions. Great failures. Great scientists, world leaders, famous writers, singers, and film stars all have a special talent. They are all specially good at something. Millions of pages are written about them in books, magazines, and newspapers. But what about those who are specially bad at something? This page is for them. The first subtitle is "The Worst Driver in the World." This title is proudly claimed by a British woman who had 212 driving lessons, but couldn't pass her driving test. She failed her test 38 times in 8 years. Her 39th test was not so bad, and she would have passed if she had not driven through a red light. She finally passed the test a month later. The second subtitle is The Longest Failure to Return a Borrowed Book. Many of us are slow to return things that we have borrowed, but first prize must go to Mr. M. Dodd, who borrowed a book from a library in 1823. He was supposed to return it 3 weeks later, but the book was not returned until 1968. Mr. Dodd's grandson, who returned the book, explained, "My grandfather was going to return it, but he died. I should have returned it earlier, but I kept forgetting." Now let's move to the third one, the third text, the least successful weather report. A radio presenter in Saudi Arabia once announced, "We are sorry that we can't give you the weather forecast. We receive the weather forecast from the airport, which is closed because of the bad weather." The announcement ended, "If the weather improves, we will give you the forecast tomorrow." The following text, the worst burglar. A burglar broke into a house in Paris and stole a video and some silver. He was just going to leave when he felt hungry. In the kitchen he found some of his favorite cheese. If he had left then, he would have been alright, but the kitchen was full of good things, which he ate quickly. After a time he felt very sick. He wished he had not eaten so much so quickly, and he lay down. The next thing he saw was a police officer. He had been asleep for 5 hours. The last one, the unluckiest lion. When a lion escaped from a circus in Italy, people screamed and ran. Then the lion saw a small boy and ran after him. That was a big mistake. The boy's mother was a big, strong woman, and the lion soon wished it had left the boy alone. It spent the next 3 weeks in an animal hospital and was afraid of women and small children for the rest of its life. Now, after reading the 5 texts, let's do the task. Now, we have here some possible answers to the previous questions. I mean, number 1, what is the title of the story? The first one, the worst driver in the world. Who or what is the story about? It's about a British woman. What are the main details? Yes, 212 driving lessons, 39 failed driving tests. What happened in the end? This woman passed her test finally. The second one, the second text, what's the title of the story? The title is The Longest Failure to Return a Borrowed Book. Who or what's the story about? It's about Mr. M. Dodd. What are the main details? A book borrowed in 1823 and not returned until 1968. What happened in the end? Mr. Dodd died and his grandson returned the book to the library. Now the third group. What's the title of the story? The title is The Least Successful Weather Report. Who or what's the story about? It's about Saudi Arabian radio presenter. What are the main details? The presenter could not give the forecast because the airport was closed. And what happened in the end? He said that he would give the forecast the next day. Group number 4. The title of the story is The Worst Burglar. And the story is about a burglar in Paris. What are the main details? The details here are, yes, the burglar broke into a house, he found some cheese, ate too much food and fell asleep. What happened in the end? A policeman arrived. The last group, group number 5. What is the title of the story? The title of this story is The Unluckiest Lion. Who or what's the story about? It's about a circus lion in Italy. What are the main details? The lion escaped and ran after a small boy. The boy's mother attacked the lion. And what happened in the end? The lion was in hospital for 3 weeks. It was afraid of women and small children for the rest of its life. And now we can end this part of our lesson. See you, my dear students, in the later or the following part number 2. So goodbye.